Hey guys, this is Patrick with the 90-Day Video Blog Challenge, and today is day 30, so made it a third of the way through, and it's pretty exciting. I feel like I'm definitely improving at least my awareness of the way I'm talking and my communication style, some of the faults I need to work on, and just in general being more present in front of a camera. And this is also translated into a lot of my conversations with other people. I found myself making more eye contact. I found myself being more present in the conversations I'm having. So I think this is really helping. Today I want to tell a little story. I had a conversation with my mom, well, with my parents this weekend over Skype, and I was talking with my mom, and she told me a little story that kind of made me a little sad, I guess, but at the same time, also made me think about where I'm at right now, my progress, and made me think about some of the mentalities and some of the ways of thinking that I've grown up with and had for a long time. So the story was that, and I've heard this many times, my mom did a homestay in Spain when she was in college and for a year, 6 months, I think. And during that time, she acquired a really proficient level of Spanish, and she got really good at speaking Spanish. But she came back to the States after that and didn't really continue studying. She took a few Spanish classes to finish up college, but after that, nothing. And it's been, I don't know, 30 years since or so at least. So my mom works at a school. She's a school nurse. And she was telling me this story that last week, this kid came her, into the nurse's office and had like broken bone or something like that. And um, my mom was trying to comfort her, but the little girl, she was straight in. She was like 2 weeks she had been in the U.S. for like 2 weeks from Mexico, so she didn't speak any English, and here she was just in a lot of pain in my mom's office. And even though my mom had been basically fluent in Spanish back in college, she couldn't remember any of it and couldn't say anything to this little girl. So she had this feeling of just kind of helplessness, and it was kind of too bad. And we were talking about that a little bit, but then she said something to me that was kind of interesting. She said that she was thinking about relearning Spanish and maybe taking a class or something like that. I said, "Wow, that's really cool, Mom. You should definitely do it. Have you looked into any classes in the area? I mean, even if you don't take a class, there's plenty of online resources too. I mean, some of the things that I've been using are online." And her response was very indicative of sort of the background that I grew up in, and also a lot of the people that I've surrounded myself with over the years, which was, "Oh, I'm just thinking about it. I might do it sometime in the future." So at that point, I responded very vehemently with, "No, you should do it now. You should go find a class this weekend, and you should sign up for it and get started right now. You should go get some flashcards online and just start building up your vocabulary again," or something like that. And after I said that, I realized that I had come on pretty strongly, and I didn't mean to, but kind of become who I am. It's just becoming really strong really passionate about going for your dreams and your goals and whatever you want to accomplish. There is no someday. There is no sometime in the future. Basically, that means never, and that's not part of my vocabulary anymore. This idea of someday or sometime. So I had that conversation with my mom, and I, of course, I don't feel it's necessary to really push that part of my personality that's becoming I'm becoming very passionate about. I don't feel that I need to push that onto anybody else, especially people in my family. But of course, the people in my family are people I care about the most. So I want them to be happy. I want them to be successful. I want them to do the things they want to do. I want them to achieve their dreams. So it was kind of interesting. That part of it was kind of interesting that I noticed myself just being really really strong and passionate about it to the point of where my my mom was kind of like, "Oh, just just saying," kind of thing. So I had to kind of back off a little bit. But the second thing I was thinking about today related to that conversation was I think part of where I had gotten that idea of not really committing to a certain course of action, which I've kind of been, I kind of talked about and touched on briefly in previous videos, but just this idea of I've gone through life and done a lot of things based on, I guess, not really committing fully or being afraid to commit fully or something like that. And hearing this from my mom, I've heard the story. I know she went to Spain and did that study abroad program. And today I just had this thought. It was really, really powerful thought, kind of a glimpse into my own sort of maybe childhood psychology or something like that. Is that because I knew this story, like my mom went to Spain, studied really hard, learned Spanish, and became fluent, then came back, and as I was growing up, of course, there was no Spanish in my house, and my mom had lost all of her ability. So, without actually saying anything, it was completely nonverbal, completely subconscious. I feel like that may have been one of the contributing factors to an idea that I've had for a long time, which is, what's the point? And that's kind of I guess, the main topic I wanted to convey in this video was this idea of what's the point in terms of these big, big ideas, big dreams, big actions, becoming fluent in a language, starting a business, improving your social skills, really anything that requires this incredible amount of action, incredible amount of dedication to one single cause. I feel like I grew up with this sense of what's the point, because you can study a language as hard as you want, you can get as good as you want, but you're just gonna forget it in a number of years anyways. What's the big deal? Um, you can, I guess, maybe pursue this uh, field of study and work really hard at it and maybe get a master's degree, maybe get a PhD, but what's the point? You're not going to be able to get a job with that. Or what's the point? What if you change your mind after you've come all that long way? What if you go down this, I should use what if I went down this path and dedicated myself to maybe a sport or dedicated myself to some kind of field of study and I changed my mind later? All that effort is wasted. What's the point? And I think it kind of ties back into this idea of mastery that I talked about before, but I've been thinking more and more about what's the point and my own personal background with this, and it's a really really tough mind. It's a big resistance point for me. It's a tough mind shift for me to change from what's the point to why not, and that's where I want to go with my own personal psychology, my own personal action plans and mindset and whatnot. Is instead of what's the point, it's a lot of effort, and I might not achieve what I set out to achieve, or I might just change my mind halfway through. Change from that to more of why not? Yeah, I could change my mind. Yeah, it might not work out, but really, I guess, what's the point should more be applied to what's the point of living your life, because if you're not going to go for that with conviction and go for that 110%. Because, yeah, what's the point? We're all going to die anyways. I mean, I think if you look at it like that, it's pretty fatalistic. And if you look at it with that, you can find an excuse to basically just sit on your couch and watch TV all day. So, anyhow, I think I made the conclusion I wanted to make on that. Is basically I'm really seeing a shift in my mindset from what's the point to why not, and I'm applying this now to my own study of language, studying Japanese, but also to, of course, the other aspects of my life that I want to, in which I want to achieve something. So I hope that if you are feeling some of that resistance or feeling like, what's the point? It's not even going to work out. Or what's the point? It may not even work out. What's the point? I might do something different later on. I might want to change my mind later on. Yeah, you might. But you should do it anyways, because there's no way you're going to find out what's at the end of that road unless you walk the path. All right. Well, that's what I have to say on that topic, and thanks for watching so far. This is Patrick with the 90-Day Video Blog Challenge, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for the second half, well, the second third of this video blog challenge. All right, see you guys.